I feel like it's more of a honeymoon period for us now. He's also a fox, if you haven't noticed. My husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
I have a letter from your husband and your kids.
If you've been following the Meghan show for a while, you'll know that nothing she does happens by accident. And this emotional, tearful interview is the latest in a long line of very carefully staged PR moves that somehow always manage to feel both over the top and hollow at the same time. So, Meghan pops up on Jamie Kern-Lima's podcast. If you don't know who Jamie is, she's a founder of IT Cosmetics. She's hugely wealthy, and she's exactly the kind of power player Meghan likes to cozy up to.
No one's ever seen this before.
This is so bad.
What is she
With all things
doing?
making me emotional.
I have full body chills right now.
For them to be able to look
Telling
back
her
and
how
go,
great she is.
oh my
That's
God,
their whole
she
existence.
has loved us so much.
But trust me, all of this has been cooked up with Jamie Kern-Lima. None of this was a surprise. They are best buddies. So it's not an interview. It's a very different thing. And so I do not trust a word of what she's trying to say here. Breaking right now. Meghan Markle has burst into tears in a fake new podcast appearance, which is meant to make us feel sorry for her. Feel sorry for her at a time that she's decided to pimp out her own daughter, reveal a new stunt involving a fake voice and miraculously different hair color in order to avoid talking about the mega flop that is Confessions of a Female Founder. But no, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. We now have this new interview with Jamie Kern-Lima. I'm joined by Brittany, editor of the Royal News Network. Now, Brittany, we're going to be going through this trauma together, aren't we? Because we have purposefully held off from watching this interview so we can react in real time. But to set it up, tell me who this woman is and why Meghan has been so desperate, Brittany, to be good friends with her.
So if I remember correctly, because this is sort of still an emerging story, is Jamie was one of the people who Meghan went with to the Hamptons for some sort of women's entrepreneurial empowerment thing back in the summer of last year. And then I believe she is the founder or a huge contributor to IT Cosmetics. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think Meghan actually flew to the Hamptons on Jamie's private jet. So Jamie is definitely somebody that Meghan wants to emulate.
She's rich and
she's
powerful, and that means
platform.
that she's of use to Meghan.
Yes, exactly.
And she has her podcast, clearly, the Jamie Kern-Lima Show. And as I say, we haven't watched any of this. We are going to react in real time. But Brittany and I, who were just discussing the fact that Meghan had broken down in tears before we came on air.
These two have been hanging out since last year, and Meghan even hopped on Jamie's private jet. So, already, this isn't some hard-hitting journalistic sit-down. This is a chat between two pals, one fangirling over Meghan, the other using the moment to rebuild her brand after a string of failures. And let's just say it outright, this was not an interview. It was stage therapy session vibes, all about Meghan telling us how great she is while pretending to be vulnerable.
We're both skeptical, aren't we, Brittany? Because it looks like Meghan purposefully, for the first time, didn't wear makeup. And we know she has her tear trick. Do you remember that? She knows how to turn on the tears. That's her one very good talent as an actress.
Yep, exactly.
So our skepticism levels are high. But look, as I say, we're going to do this together. We're going to react in real time. This is Meghan Markle breaking down in tears because of her children, her lovely children, and also because that man, Prince Harry, just loves her so much. Watch.
So beautiful.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that one.
Sure you are.
Sure.
Yeah, they're just it's just so great. This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on.
Oh, what a
She's not really
coincidence.
crying.
We spend so much of our life trying to prove something. To prove that you're enough. You have to prove that you're pretty enough. You have to prove that you're smart enough. You prove that you're a good wife or a good friend. And I was like, I am just so
You're not that.
done with the prove it game.
The music is
And if
very
you
annoying.
can't see it, I don't need to prove to you why that's your loss. Like, because I know that I'm a great friend, and I know the kind of mom I am, and I know the kind of human being I am, and I know how I show up.
You ghost
And
someone whenever they get in
I
trouble.
love
the
being able to
hubris.
be that person
The hubris.
with the people that I love. So,
She's dropped friends.
you know,
For no good
worthiness, maybe part of worthiness comes when you stop having to feel like you're in the prove it game.
I am
Still trying to
getting
prove herself.
emotional right now.
That's her whole thing.
Getting out of the prove it game, like,
Yeah.
feels like joy, tastes like freedom.
Sick bucket
Meghan,
up
Duchess
gosh.
of Sussex, in her first ever podcast interview.
She's done plenty of podcasts and interviews. Oh, wearing a monogram sweater of her kids.
Oh, the roses are coming back in.
They're coming back in. Yes, they're coming back in strong. I'm so grateful you're here. It's gonna be fun.
Oh,
Yes, it's gonna be
Megan gets
fun.
first billing.
You made me cry. Good thing I have no makeup on.
You look so pretty.
I have not done a show with no makeup since my 1,000 QVC shows.
Do you think I have?
What
are you talking about?
You look
I have
exactly the
makeup
same
on.
though. These are some of the hot
No, wait, I don't have
questions
makeup on.
that everyone wants to know.
Oh.
Talk about your name. Do you use Markle anymore? What's your morning routine look like? Would you ever write another book?
People are often curious if I'm going to write a memoir.
Would you ever run for office? Can you give us one hint on something exciting coming up for As Ever? I've had your jam in my refrigerator all year. No one knows. No one's seen it. I have not posted it. In this incredible conversation, Meghan shares stories and insights for the first time ever.
It's
Oh,
not
this is so
about
bad.
the grandeur of a gesture. It's about I see
She's all about the grandeur of the gesture. That
I
was her
nurture
whole
you and I
show.
see you so deeply, and I love being able to see your growth. That man loves me so much, and
At the end of the day, everything Meghan does seem to come back to image. The carefully timed stunts, the dramatic one-take crying moments, the honeymoon marriage speeches, the digs at the royals, the constant need to convince us, and maybe herself, that she's happy, loved, successful, and thriving.
you know, look what we built. We've built a beautiful
Does she
life.
love
We have two
him?
healthy, beautiful children. That's my husband. He's just out there, just constant. Like, he's just going to do whatever he can to make sure that our family is safe and protected and we're uplifted and still make time for date nights.
Are you in love now more than ever?
So I feel like it's more of a honeymoon period for us now. He's also a fox, if you haven't noticed. My husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
I have a letter from your husband and your kids. No one's ever seen this before.
So bad.
What is she
Of all things, it's
doing?
making me emotional.
I have full body
Oh.
chills right now.
For them to be able to look
Telling
back and
her how
go,
great she is.
oh my
That's
God,
their whole
she has
existence.
loved us so much.
It's a very selfish view.
By the way.
Whoa,
So
okay. That was even more than I ever imagined. I mean, number one, How
Oh,
the
that was
Mighty Have
awful.
Fallen. It used to be Oprah Winfrey. It's now the Jamie Learn Lima. But this is a real psyop, isn't it? This is the hit back of all hit backs. And unfortunately, it's yet another tissue of lies, Brittany. Because this idea that she can sit there with a straight face and say, I'm a good friend, I'm a good human being, when there is a litany of people who she has ghosted, thrown under the bus. And the fact that Jamie Kern Lima can sit there and say, I'm going to ask you the difficult questions, but nothing about your father, nothing about your sister, nothing
bullying.
about your brother-in-law, nothing about your sister-in-law is rubbish.
Yeah, it's absolutely. When you look at her friendships, especially I want to say her friendship with Jessica Mulroney, like Mulroney's children, all three of them were in Meghan's wedding. Her sons held Meghan's veil, and now she no longer talks to her over a stupid social media blow up in 2020, 2021. I can't remember which one it was. And as far as we're aware, they don't speak, they don't see each other. And it's like, you're a good friend? No, a good friend would go, yeah, my friend made a mistake, but I still love them. They are my friend. That's how Meghan should have approached the situation. And then you look at the family situation, her in-laws, she doesn't talk to any of them. She's broken up relationships with all of them. And then you look at her own family. She doesn't talk to her own family except for her mother and maybe her niece, although we haven't heard a lot about her niece recently, so maybe that was just convenient for their TV show. But Meghan has a litany of broken relationships in her past, unnecessarily broken because of sort of stupid reasons, or as Meghan is social climbing. As she's social climbing, she just sort of like if you're climbing up Everest, she sort of leaves the relationship bodies in her wake, basically.
I know. It's like, this is a podcast. She's not on Big Brother. She's with these people all the time. Why have they sent her a letter, Brittany?
But the truth? It's not convincing. Her projects keep failing. Her friendships keep collapsing. Her popularity is dropping. And the more she tries to sell us on her perfection, the more people roll their eyes. This Jamie Kern-Lima podcast appearance was supposed to be Meghan's big emotional reset.
It's so weird. And if you listen to her quote a bit, and it's like, I want them to think at one point, oh my gosh, she loved me so much, talking about her children. And it's like, that's a very selfish view. You shouldn't have to think, oh, your children realize you love them so much. It's more of like, you always feel it. Like, why do you want them some point 20 years from now to realize how much she loved them? And it's just so selfish. She wants all the love all the time. It's like, my husband loves me so much. Well, how much do you love him? How much do you support him? It seems like the love for her only goes one way, towards her. So it's only her love towards her. And so she just is sort of encompassed in that. And you can see how selfish the love is, and that they need a note so they can, get the tears or whatever. Like, it feels so Oprah. It's a little bit ridiculous and very, very cringy.
I mean, I'd love to know how Jessica Mulroney feels watching that. Yeah. Someone who had been loyal to Meghan for years, the slightest hint of trouble, and she wasn't just ghosted, she was thrown under the bus, never to be seen or heard from with Meghan again.
Yes, it's very sad. And Jessica obviously helped Meghan social climb within Canada. That was probably the basis for Meghan Markle's, at least, side of the friendship, is that Jessica Mulroney was the daughter-in-law of a former prime minister. And so that was the connection. And so as soon as Jessica was no longer useful and there was a convenient way to get her out of the picture, Meghan did that immediately because she was no longer useful and Meghan was looking for an out. And Meghan does that, I think, with a lot of relationships. And so it's just sort of really awful for Meghan to sit there and say, I'm a good friend, I'm a human being. I mean, just the hubris of that is horrifically awful. It just sounds terrible, in my opinion, when we know how she's treated staff, her family, her in-laws, her friends. We know how she's treated them. Ergo, it's hard to see her as this great, wonderful person she thinks she is, because obviously we have a lot of proof that behind the scenes, she's not a pleasant person.
I mean, also, Brittany, of course, very thinly veiled digs at the royal family, which we expect, of course. How are they going to view this?
I mean, I'm sure they'll laugh. I'm sure there's a good laughing bit going on in the palace anytime Meghan does essentially anything, because she just looks, the more she does these kind of things, the more foolish she looks. Yes, it might endear her to her fans, but I think it's turning off more and more of the broader public. But at the same time, although I'm sure, again, the royal family has a bit of a giggle, they need to take her more seriously, because these sort of type of interviews really do undermine what the monarchy is doing, because she's going on there as the Duchess of Sussex. The royal family needs to make it clear that Harry and Meghan are
a chance to get people back on her side after a string of flops. Instead, it's done the opposite. It reminded everyone of her acting tricks, her selfishness, her broken friendships, and her obsession with image over substance. It showed us again how Harry is wheeled out as a prop to make her look adored. It highlighted the emptiness of a PR machine, lots of tears and words, but little substance.
Separated. They're not the same. And I think Charles is just kind of slow walking everything when I think he needs to be a bit more of a king here and a little less like a father. He needs to make these hard choices when it comes to Harry and Meghan because she's never going to stop. You're never going to get what you want out of Meghan Markle because it's always going to all be about her. She's never really going to care that much about how it's making somebody else look. She's just constantly trying to get the public to in her mind, understand her. And the thing is, we see who Meghan Markle is and we're not impressed, but she just keeps thinking if she talks enough, we will finally be impressed with her.
Brittany, of course, she's also used this to hit back at the marriage rumours. We know things have been incredibly uncomfortable, so it's all out on this, saying she believes that she and Harry will be married forever. Also calling her husband a fox because of how very, very handsome she is, but adding his heart is even more beautiful. Do you buy it, Brittany? Because unfortunately, I think there's very much something wrong here. And when you say constantly how happy you are and how good things are, usually that means you're hiding something. We saw her do the same thing at the Time 100 event, but the expression on Harry's face told a completely different story. Also very, very interesting, she's centering in on his looks after a weekend when he really has been criticized, for example, for his balding.
Yeah, I think in my personal opinion that the marriage will not last forever. At some point, he's probably going to either she's going to find somebody better or he's going to finally grow a backbone. Those are those two outcomes I see. And when it comes to him being a fox, unfortunately, that's just not the case anymore. I'm sorry. He did have his moment in the spotlight for a little bit, but the hair situation for Harry is getting really bad. And the more he sort of clings to what little he has left, the worse it looks, to be quite honest. I mean, Photoshop can only work for so long. It doesn't work in real life, though. And so I think this whole thing of treating him as a fox and, oh, we're still in the honeymoon period. I mean, after 6 years, nobody, or what, 6, 7, 8 years, a marriage or relationship or whatever, nobody's really in the honeymoon period anymore. So the more she sort of tries to claim that, the less I believe it. I think mostly for Harry's sake, he's probably just going through the motions. He knows what she wants, and if she's happy, then he can sort of survive the day. So I think he works really hard to keep her happy, but is he really happy? I sort of doubt it. Is at the end of the day, is she all that happy? Probably no, because she wants more money, and Harry's just not going to be the one who gets that for her. And so I think probably one of the first big disappointments of their relationship is that she realized he was a poorly millionaire when she wanted to marry a billionaire.
Yeah, there is absolutely a lot of convincing us going on here, isn't there? And I think the emotion is absolutely not going to work either, Brittany, because we have learned over a number of years that Meghan is an actress who knows how to turn it on and off, quite literally, her tear ducts.
And worst of all, it underlined her inability to move on from the royals. Every move still feels like it's aimed at undermining them. Every authentic moment feels staged. At this point, Meghan doesn't need another soft podcast chat with a billionaire friend. She needs a reality check, a tough interview, a moment of honesty. But given her track record, that's the last thing she'll ever give us.